Shabbat Shalom. It is so beautiful out. I'm so pleased that we are outside, joined together in Shabbat, in community and connection with one another on this magnificent September evening. And as we typically do, we need to center ourselves, connect to our Shabbat experience. So let's take a deep breath in. Feel the breath and release. With this next breath in, breathe in deeply. And think about all of the places where you hold tension. For me, it is in my neck and in my shoulders. And maybe stretch a little bit, try to release some of that tension that you held during the week. Thank you, Susan. And release the breath. Feel your tension begin to release. Take one more breath in. Feel the breath go even deeper. Feel the tension release just a little bit more. Hear the silence. Feel the peace of Shabbat just begin to come over you and release. And in the beauty of that silence and connection, we now turn to the other part of the beauty of Shabbat, which is song, Shabbat song. So we are going to begin on page 10 with Maya Fe Hayom. How beautiful is this day?
Maya v'hayom, Shabbat shalom. Maya v'hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Maya v'hayom, Shabbat shalom. Maya v'hayom, Shabbat shalom.
Wow, you sounded really pretty with that. We turn now to lighting our Shabbat candles and offering Kiddush. It is our custom. If you would like to also light your own Shabbat candles, you can do so behind you and in front of me. And it's my pleasure to ask President of our congregation, Lori Rosenberg, to come forward to kindle the Shabbat lights.
I did. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Use these?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen.
I'll make sure John knows. Oh, goodness. All right. We're on page 9. Page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We turn now to our call for worship called the Baruch Hu. You can find it on page 28. Please rise as able.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
We are going to continue on page 32. Page 32 is the prayer Ahavat Olam. It is a prayer that speaks of God's love for us. And one of the ways that God expresses that love is through giving Torah that endlessly gives information and connection to us. We're going to sing it.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha aveta Amcha
And we continue with the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai veyitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 40. The Micha Mocha is a song of celebration. It's also a song of responsibility. With the Micha Mocha, we are reminded the Israelites have crossed the Red Sea. They are free. And they are free, but not everyone is free. And so with the Micha Mocha, we are reminded of our responsibility to ensure that everyone can experience freedom because we experience freedom. We sing together.
Ya lai lai la lai lai la la lai ya lai lai la lai la 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 lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai ya la lai ya la lai lai ya la la lai lai Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef ele Nora tehilot osef ele Malechutecha ra'u v'necha Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Ze'lianu ve'amru Ze'lianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef ele Nora tehilot osef ele
We continue now with Hashkivenu, which can be found on page 42. Hashkivenu is our evening lullaby. It asks for protection from God, for God to provide for each of us a Sukkot Shalom. When things are feeling uncertain and unstable, which they often do, we can turn to this prayer and ask for protection from God. We sing together.
Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim.
Many of you know that one of my favorite philosophers is Abraham Joshua Heschel, and so I share with you this quote from him on the sanctity of time. Time is God's gift to the world of space. We must conquer space in order to sanctify time. All week long, we are called upon to sanctify life through employing things of space. On the Sabbath, it is given to share in the holiness that is in the heart of time. Even when the soul is seared, even when no prayer can come out of our tightened throats, the clean, silent rest of the Sabbath leads us to a realm of endless peace, or to the beginning of an awareness of what eternity means. Eternity utters a day. Page 44, Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et
turn now to the Tefillah on page 46. These words, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise, is actually from the Psalms. We reflect now, we recenter ourselves, and then we turn to our words of prayer, which hearken back and remind us that we stand upon the shoulders of our forefathers and foremothers. That's on page 48, and then we'll continue chanting page 50 and 52. Please rise as able.
Adonai Sephartai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech olim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 60. Shalom Rav is a prayer for peace. And wow, we need peace. And so today, as we sing Shalom Rav, let us ask for peace in our hearts, for ourselves, for those we love, and especially for those in Israel. We sing together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
We take time in every Shabbat service to think of those whom we love who are in need of healing, whether it be a physical healing, a spiritual need for comfort, a healing of body, a healing from mental struggles, a healing from life's challenges. As my hand passes over those of us here, I almost said in the sanctuary, in our outdoor sacred space, I hope that you will say aloud the names of loved ones who are struggling on this Shabbat. If you are home, I hope that you'll lift up names in the chat. Please share names aloud at this time. We join all of the names that have been shared aloud here, the names that still reside in our heart, and the names lifted up in the chat. And we sing together our healing song. If you need the words, page 253.
Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We take a moment for silent prayer, for reflection.
Imrefi, Imrefi, Vehegyon libi lefanecha, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Vegoali, Yehiyu l'ratzon, Imrefi, Imrefi, Vehegyon libi lefanecha, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Vegoali.
So Amy is going to be passing around a half sheet of paper. And what I would like for you to do is to find one or two people to talk to. We're going to be just doing this for 2 or 3 minutes. And on that piece of paper are 2 verses of Torah, just 2 verses of Torah, and 3 questions. And what I would like for you to do is to read those 2 verses of Torah and try to answer the questions on this piece of paper and see what we come up with. What you are doing is actually creating something called a chavruta. Chavruta is actually Aramaic. It means chavara, or friend group. But if you are here not with someone, find someone to get to know and hang out with for just a couple minutes so that you can study with a partner. Chavruta is a partner study. It is considered the holiest way to connect to text. And this is how the Talmud was written, how Midrash was written, how all of Judaism that we know it today came to be. So I'm going to give you just 2 to 4 minutes to take a look at this verse and try to answer questions. You may want to read it aloud in your group, read it together, and then talk about the questions. It will make sense. Muriel says it makes no sense. I promise it will make sense. All right, 2 more minutes. At first glance, this doesn't seem so good, does it? Oh, is he back? All right. I'm hearing some very interesting reactions. Let's have a conversation. All right. Before we get to the questions, what's this verse about? People don't like this verse. I'm going to make sure you love this verse. It's my job. I love this verse. All right. Before we get to the unpacking, what's going on in this verse? Let's just put it in our own language. Who wants to put this in your language? You have a bird's nest, and then there's birds, and what happens? Sometimes, okay, the birds leave, and it doesn't say the birds leave. What's going on? We're taking what? Okay, Noreen says we're taking what doesn't belong to us. Are we? What does the verse say? Does it say does it say future generations? The verse says, you're unpacking it. Okay. No, you're doing great. This is a hard verse. This is hard. You're doing amazing, okay? If you happen upon a bird's nest, all right, and there's a mama bird sitting on the eggs, right? What might you want? You might want those eggs. They might make a delicious omelet. Okay? That you wanted to help what birds?
The eggs or the bird that you wanted to help them. That's why I assumed.
Help who? Which the eggs or the birds?
Both.
Both. Okay, so who are we helping? Is it always possible to help everybody? Here is the matter. Here is the matter, right? There's an upside and a downside. Maybe we can protect the young. We don't know. So, what is it in ancient times that we need? Food. Dinner. Thank you, Tracy. Okay? So, we want those eggs. It's a really great chicken. It's a fancy schmancy chicken, and those eggs are going to be delicious. Okay? You raise chickens. I live in Shaker Heights. You're allowed to raise chickens. You can't have a lot of dogs, but you can raise chickens. It's very strange. Okay. You let the mother go and take the young. Why? The mother can produce more. What else? Why else? The mother has life left. Why else? The babies can't continue. Why else? If you don't do it, someone else will. I like that answer. Why else? Sandy. It would be a kindness to the mother. Sandy is the rabbi of the evening. All right. Sandy also gave the Devar Torah at the board meeting, so maybe she cheated a little. All right. Why what? Why is it a kindness to the mother to eat the children? Because the mother can do what? Make more children. How do you know she's going to be sad? Right? We have an obligation to eat. So this is going to happen no matter what. Right? We need to eat. So we have to figure out what's the best way to make this happen. Go vegetarian. Great. That's one answer. Right? So let me read some of these answers from the rabbis. Okay? So one answer is the purpose of the legislation in both instances is to ensure that our hearts will not become insensitive to animals' feelings, as once they have become such, the next step is insensitivity to our fellow humans' feelings. What do you think? What do you mean? Yeah. Yep. So let me read you another one. This one's a little bit harder. I'm trying to think of our timeline here. All right, so this is from Maimonides. Who is Maimonides? Anybody remember? He's a philosopher from the 12th century, okay? This is all the way back in the 1100s. It is also prohibited to kill an animal with its young on the same day, in order that people should be restrained and prevented from killing the two together in such a manner that the young is slain in the sight of the mother. For the pain of the animals under such circumstances is very great. There is no difference in this case between the pain of man and the pain of other living things, since the love and tenderness of the mother for her young ones is not produced by reasoning, but by instinct, and this faculty exists not only in man, but in most living things. So, what are you still upset about? The fact that we have to do it at all. You eat eggs all the time. So you are all assuming that when we say young, that this is a chicken. How do you know it wasn't an egg? I set you up for that. How do you know it wasn't an egg? We don't know. It doesn't say. It said with fledglings or eggs. Right? Yes. It is an essentialist argument, right? So here is from Ramban, Nachmanides, who is the child of Rambam. That's also confusing, but it's okay. For the prohibition is to teach us compassion and the avoidance of cruelty. Because cruelty spreads through a person's soul, as we see in butchers and slaughterers. And the rabbi said, the best of butchers is a partner to Amalek. Amalek is the precursor to Haman. Nobody said boo. So these commandments that deal with animals and birds are not about God's mercy for them. So it's not about the animals. It's about us. No, it's about us. It's about how we treat the animals. So it has nothing to do with the bird, according to Nachmanides. It's everything to do with how we remember to treat the animal, and not about the animal's feelings at all. That by remembering to be kind, even if it's inconsistent, that we are teaching ourselves compassion. If we're kind to animals, and we remember in the simplest moments, to be kind to the animal, by extension, we will be kind to others. And when we forget that kindness, we will, by extension, forget kindness to others. You make the chicken move. Just move it to the other side of the yard. It's a metaphor. Yes, I heard you. It's a metaphor. Keep going. Beautiful. The metaphor is that we let the elder and teach the young. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you. It's a metaphor about teaching the young for her. So another text. This is to teach us respect the good moral qualities and inculcate in our hearts the idea that one never suffers a loss for doing justice. Had we been permitted to take the mother bird away from her young, it's all, the men wrote it, man would have concluded that pity was an undesirable and foolish quality, bringing suffering on those exercising it. And now, knowing that taking her is forbidden to us, the essence of the quality of mercy will be inculcated in our hearts very deeply. Does this help you see the text at all differently? Everyone's like, no, I still hate it. I love this text. Does anybody see that the text any differently? Susan's like, uh-huh. Doesn't sound like who needs help? The birds. So what they're saying is that if you need the fledgling, if you need the eggs, this is how you are to behave. So the operating assumption here is that we need these fledglings. We need these eggs. We have to go with that operating assumption. What? We're going to eat, right? So we're not vegans, we're not vegetarians. And so if we're going to eat, this is how we behave. You're laughing. Darn, I ruined it. I ruined Annika. So much for being a good supervisor. Okay. Tracy. Yeah. Yes. How compassionate is that? It's super compassionate. Judaism is a compassionate faith. It is. Sandy. So there's all throughout this entire Torah portion. This Torah portion has 74 mitzvot, 74 sacred obligations within it. It has more mitzvot than any other Torah portion combined. And so and many of them are about chesed or loving kindness. So one of my other favorites is that you should make all the roofs. They definitely did not live in Cleveland. All of the roofs back then were flat, and so you should have a parapet, a fence on all of the roofs. Why? Because you have the responsibility for making sure other people are safe. And if you have an enemy, if you're walking by your enemy and their donkey, it says another word in the text, I won't use that, and their donkey has fallen over and they can't get the donkey back up again, even with the burden, even if they're your enemy, you have to help the donkey and the burden lift the burden up for the sake of the donkey, right? Even if they're your enemy. So there's verse after verse after verse like that within this text. And so there's a number of moral texts within this parsha, within Ki Tetzei. What I wanted to bring to you was one of the more difficult ones that still teaches compassion. What... I'm foiled again. So what Brian said was, what happens if the parapet is in Cleveland Heights and it falls off? Then you're liable. I mean, it's very clear. The text is very clear, and they have actually pages and pages in the Talmud of what happens if you don't keep people safe. It's very clear. It is 100% on you. So, yeah. Any other? I could go on. So I'm gonna rein myself in, and we're going to sing an anthem. Thank you, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Olam La da da, ya da 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 da. And you must build this world from love. La da da, ya da 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 da. And if we build this world from love, la da da, ya da 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 da, then God will build this world from love. Ya da da, ya da 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 da.
We continue with Aleinu on page 283. Please rise as able. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our memorial meditation is not found in your siddur. A piece of cloth in the process of being woven. The shuttle moves silently back and forth. The thread falls from the bobbin, laying the woof upon the warp, pass after pass, skein after skein, bolt after bolt. At times, the spool comes to an end and a new thread is woven seamlessly into the fabric. At times, the transition is not so smooth, leaving loose ends dangling. But the work of the weaver continues. The sound of the batten and treadle of the loom does not cease. A piece of cloth in the process of being woven, the tapestry of memory and life. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken from our temple family, Jane Wolfe, and we remember those yahrzeits that we commemorate on this Shabbat. Myron C. Auerbach, Helen Einstein Bing, Wilma Lederer Cohn, Esther A. Dworkin, Pauline Garelick, Anne Godin, Minnie Haber, Bernard Katz, Jean Levine, Samuel Marks, Raymond Mendelsohn, Florence Cohen Meyer, Alex Miller, Cecily E. Pearson, Susan L. Power, Marion Ratnoff, Earl B. Rose, William R. Rosner, Sylvia Simon, Jean K. Stewart, Arthur Leslie Stoddard, Florence Feckheimer Wolfstein, Sally Esther Zeisler. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to page 294 and rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah b'alma divra hirute v'amlich malchute b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehe ishmei Rabbah bevorach leolam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barechu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav huya asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to ask Lori Rosenberg, president of our congregation, to come forward or continue coming forward to share words of announcement and greeting.
Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. And I want to thank you, Rabbi Van and Annika, for tonight's service. It's always beautiful to be out here, and as I kind of whispered to Rabbi, you can tell the change in the season, and that brings a different sense of the worship, too, and as the colors of the leaves start to change, unfortunately. And to John and to Jacob, because it does take a little bit of extra work to get it set up out here, so I want to say thank you there as well. And while Jim is not here today, I want to thank him for the flowers for the bima. And so in terms of announcements, we definitely have some of this. Oh, wait a second. So there was a conversation in the office when they asked me whether I wanted, would I do the blessings. And then Rochelle goes, well, do I put Mazel Tov in the order of service that I'm doing it? And I'm like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I said, but do I thank myself? Thank you. I think I was thanked. But it was definitely a conversation, but they put it in there. All right, announcements. Kol Nashim, we got some stuff going on with Kol Nashim. They have a docent tour organized for the Cleveland Museum of Art and their Judaica artifacts. It is on Saturday, September 21st at 2 o'clock. And if you are interested in attending, to reach out to Rochelle. And there's always the theme of reaching out to Rochelle. Second Kol Nashim is we have the book group, and that is on September 16th at 7 o'clock. And the book is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. That will be hybrid, either Zoom or in person. And if you reach out to Rochelle, you'll get the address of wherever the book group is meeting. And then tomorrow, yes, I had to figure the date. Rise and Shine. So if you know anybody with little ones, it's at the Orange Library. There's music, there's games, there's stories, and it's just really a joyful time to experience Judaism, and it's nice to see our next generation getting that fun exposure and learning to love what we already know and love. And then Megan Hennon, who bakes our Shabbat challahs, is making the challahs for the high holidays. So the order forms are on the website and in the lobby. They're due by Sunday, September 15th, which is this Sunday. And I heard they're really going to be really, really good. There's cinnamon and there's chocolate, and it'll be really good. And then next Friday, really important, there will be a speaker on the fair districting. It's fair districting Shabbat. So there will be a speaker, Carrillo Klein, who is a passionate social impact organizer and consultant focused on anti-Semitism, racism, and the intersection of systems of oppression. So very timely, very important, and I think will be interesting in our conversations amongst us, and when we're just talking in the community, it gives us a perspective knowledge, which is always important. So thank you very much. A lot going on. Shabbat Shalom.
A quick note on next Friday, Javi Carrillo Klein works for RAC Ohio part-time, among her other work, and so she will be here as a pretty extraordinary community organizer, helping us to understand how our responsibility is to work for the end of gerrymandering and for fair districts. And then following that, on Friday, September 20th, on September 25th, we will have a meeting here at the synagogue organized by Richard Margolius, a past president of the congregation, to learn more and to do some postcard writing. So please join us next Friday and then the 25th as well. This is what it's about. So all of that. So we're going to sing Adon Olam, page 321.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shamo Nikra Adon Olam, V'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shamo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Laham Shilo Lahachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Ha'oz V'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shamo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'torchev li Beit Tzara Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanosli, Manat Kosi Beyom Ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shamo Nikra Adon Olam, B'yado Afkid Ruchi, Be'et Tishan Va'ira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi, Geviyati, Adonai li v'lo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shamo Nikra Adon Olam.
Please rise for the benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen. Shabbat shalom.